Hey, welcome everyone to the YouTube channel. Today we got a special guest, and we're going to cover something that is crucial right now in our office, something that our people are struggling with, and I imagine a lot of people are struggling with as well. And we have a special guest for it. I'm going to dive right in. He deserves a proper introduction. And so let me tell you about this man, Michael Olivario. He's a 7-time All-American. He's from Morgantown, West Virginia, part of the Midwest region. I met him in Hawaii at a retreat, and we're part of the same coaching group. In the spring of 2020, Michael was the #1 All-American. He was the #1 college student in the country. Michael boasts a $500 average order, an 80% closing ratio, but that's not why he's here today. Michael is featured on the channel because in the past 2 weeks, he has done 30 or 40 appointments, somewhere in that ballpark. He said he can think of one person that canceled on him. In his career, he can confidently say that of the appointments he books, he completes 90% of them. That means 1 out of 10 people cancel. And so I'm excited to have Michael on the show today. Welcome in, Michael Olivario, to give us some tips. So Michael, why don't we just start with why do they happen and then tell us how to prevent it, man?
Yeah. So honestly, I've kind of found that there's 2 reasons why people cancel or reschedule. Number one is they just, maybe they forgot about something or something came up or was an honest mistake. And that happens every once in a while. So normally it doesn't happen too often, but like every once in a while, yeah, there is like an honest mistake of somebody, double booked themselves or an emergency happened or something crazy. So there are some cancellations that we just can't get around, but it's a really, really low percentage. And kind of what I've found is the real reason why people reschedule and cancel is just because they don't understand how important it is to you, and they don't understand that they're becoming a part of something that's bigger than themselves. So a couple tips to kind of help your customers understand how important it is to you. A couple quick things. So you want to make them like you, clearly tell them what you need, and then thank them and make them feel really appreciated. So I'll go over all 3. So first is just make them like you. It's really, really easy. You can use their first name. Definitely using their first name helps out a lot whenever you first make the call, a couple different times throughout the phone call. People could go a whole day, a whole week, whole couple days without ever hearing their first name, and people really like to hear their first name. So say it a couple different times throughout the phone call. Definitely tell a joke or 2. So something I'll say is, hey, Mrs. Jones, I met up with your friend so-and-so. They told me that you'd be nice enough to help me out and you don't hate college kids. And that's like always gets people a nice little smile. Another thing that you can say whenever you're having them write down the appointment time is just say, hey, put a smiley face next to my name. That way you know what I look like. That's another classic that should get a laugh or 2. But tip number 1, make them like you. People are less likely to cancel and reschedule on people that they like. Tip number 2 is clearly tell them what you need. So I know whenever I was first starting out, I would say, I need to do a few initial appointments, or, hey, I need to meet up with about this many people a week, or, kind of by this deadline, but very clearly explain to people, hey, Mrs. Jones, in order to stay on track for my scholarship, I need to meet with 10 people by Friday. Something like that, short, quick, really gets the point across. Sometimes you'll even have people say like, oh, wow, that's a lot of people. How are you going to do that? And just explaining to them like, hey, it's my job. I'm working really hard to try to win a scholarship, that kind of thing. People really like other people that work really hard. So yeah, definitely tip number 2, clearly tell them what you need and how they can help you. And then tip number 3 is thank them and make them feel appreciated. So a quote that I heard or a saying or something is that more people go to bed hungry each night for appreciation than food. If you think about it, it's pretty crazy. And, I have no idea if it's true or not, but I think it is. And so something I like to do at the end of all of my phone calls is to just really thank people, really make them feel appreciated, show a lot of gratitude and all that good, warm, fuzzy feeling stuff. I'll say thank you to a customer 4, 5, 6 times after they book an appointment with me. Just a few different times before the call ends, like, hey, Mrs. Jones, last thing, just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. This really means a lot to me. I really appreciate, your time just chatting with me here on the phone, and really appreciate you having me over or doing a Zoom call with me. So just appreciating them, thanking them a bunch. That really helps them, feel really special and nice and fuzzy and warm inside. Those would be my 3 tips. Make them like you, clearly tell them what you need and how they can help you, and thank them and make them feel really appreciated.
Yeah, I love it. So tip number 1, make them like you. I have a little joke to add. You could tell Mrs. Jones, hey, you might want to highlight that one in your calendar because I'm going to be the highlight of your day. Don't forget that. You could add that if you wanted to. That's great. Make them like you. What I always like to say is be someone that Mrs. Jones remembers. Like, be memorable on the phone so that they're excited for that presentation to come, which is kind of what you're saying. Tip number 2, tell them what you need. I think that's great because a lot of times it can be passive on the phone, where the more assertive you are with, like you said, Michael, I need to meet with 10 people by Friday. It's like they then feel a lot more important in your schedule. And then the last one, thank them. More people, did I say this? More people go to bed hungry for appreciation than food. Was that what it was?
Yeah. I heard that quote from Josh Mueller, actually.
A legend in the biz.
Pretty solid dude. Yeah.
Legend. So, hey, there's some tips. Michael Olivario, thanks for being on the channel. 7-time All-American. And you may have heard his name recently on Ben Cooper's Changing Lives Selling Knives podcast. Got a little shout out in there. Pretty soon he'll have his own. Michael, thanks for being on. Appreciate it. Take the tips, share the vid. We'll see you soon, YouTube.